Assalamu alaikum. In this video we are going to discuss the process of gluconeogenesis, which means synthesis of new glucose. Gluco mean glucose, neo mean new, and genesis mean synthesis. Gluconeogenesis is synthesis of glucose through non-carbohydrate precursors, which mean glucose is synthesized but through the sources other than carbohydrate, which include pyruvate, lactate, etc. Previously we discussed that disaccharides and polysaccharides are converted into glucose, such as lactose and sucrose are hydrolyzed through the disaccharidase enzymes and are converted into glucose. Polysaccharides such as starch etc. are first converted into maltose, and then maltose is converted into glucose. But this is not the case in the process of gluconeogenesis. In gluconeogenesis, glucose is synthesized but through non-carbohydrate precursors. Next question is, why glucose is not produced from glycogen? Excess of glucose is stored in the body in the form of glycogen in liver. So if we need glucose, then glycogen should be converted into glucose. If there is no dietary carbohydrate intake, then liver glycogen is converted into glucose, but after a few hours these glycogen stores are depleted. Glycogen levels are decreased in the liver and glycogen can't continue the supply of glucose after 24 hours of last dietary carbohydrate intake. So after 24 hours, glucose is synthesized through non-carbohydrate precursors. Glucose is synthesized through the process of glycolysis. So one can think that if we reverse the process of glycolysis, we can synthesize glucose. But this is not the case, because as we discussed earlier, there are 3 rate regulatory steps in glycolysis which are irreversible. Reversing the process of glycolysis can't synthesize glucose. These rate regulatory steps can't be reversed. So we need some alternative process to synthesize glucose. Glycogenic precursors are the molecules that produce glucose. Non-carbohydrate glycogenic precursors include lactate, glycerol, and alpha-keto acids. We will discuss each of them individually. In adipose tissues, triacylglycerol, which mean fats, are converted into glycerol. Then this glycerol is carried through the blood into the liver. This glycerol is phosphorylated into glycerol 3-phosphate. And as phosphorylation occurs, so enzyme kinase is used, and the enzyme used here is glycerol kinase. Then in the liver, this glycerol 3-phosphate is converted into dihydroxyacetone phosphate in the presence of enzyme glycerol 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Dihydroxyacetone phosphate is the precursor of both glycolysis and gluconeogenesis. We discussed the role of dihydroxyacetone phosphate in the process of glycolysis in the previous video, and will discuss its role in gluconeogenesis later inshallah. So glycerol is one of the precursors of glyconeogenesis through which we can synthesize glucose. In muscles, as we discussed previously, glucose, which is a carbohydrate, is converted into lactate. This lactate is then carried through the blood into the liver. In liver, this lactate is converted into pyruvate, and then this pyruvate is converted into glucose. We discussed it in the previous video. Lactate is carried through the blood into the liver, and in the liver this lactate is converted into pyruvate, and then pyruvate is converted into glucose. This whole process is known as Cori cycle. Thus Cori cycle links the process of glycolysis, in which glucose is converted into lactate, with the process of gluconeogenesis, in which lactate is converted into glucose. In the state of fasting, when there is no dietary intake of carbohydrate but we need glucose for energy, and glycogen stores are also depleted, we use other biomolecules to synthesize glucose, such as here fats are metabolized to produce glucose, and now tissue proteins are used to synthesize glucose. Tissue proteins are metabolized and hydrolyzed to produce alpha-keto acids, alpha-ketoglutarate, and oxaloacetate. Alpha-keto acids such as pyruvate is produced, and then pyruvate convert into glucose. We will discuss it in detail. Then this alpha-ketoglutarate is the direct intermediate of TCA cycle. We can get energy through TCA cycle. Next comes this oxaloacetate. This is also the intermediate of TCA cycle, but in addition to this oxaloacetate is also the intermediate of the process of gluconeogenesis. We will discuss both of these in the process of gluconeogenesis next. This is all about the basis of gluconeogenesis. We will discuss the process in the next video inshallah. If you have any question in this, you can ask. Thank you.